Hey guys, Fraud at Adrenaline Rush Motorsport, and today I'm proud to show you the actual new 22 C Force 500. There's a lot of things that you're gonna like, and there's gonna be some things that you don't care for. There's a lot of changes they put into this unit, and there's some things that they took away. So I'm excited to tell you about it. Make sure that you give us a like, a subscribe, and ring that bell. All right guys, so we're going to start at the front of this unit. As you can see, the look of this thing has tremendously changed. First things first, obviously, you have these beautiful upgraded headlights, all LED, no more halogen bulbs or any of those things. Another tasteful thing that I really liked was they put this push bar on the front to protect your radiator or any of the components that are located there. Another thing that you can obviously see is on this rack, you used to get just that metal rack. Now you get this nice beautiful plastic cover with quick clips that can also be installed. Also, like you see on some of the bigger units, these pieces come off in the center with just these little twist tabs right here, and everything is accessible right here. Another thing I noticed too is you have this ventilation system. So the higher you get in, or the higher that water gets, the easier you get to keep that water out of your air filter with it being located here. Another thing too, they made it fairly easy on a lot of the older units. For the guys that go mudding, they had a difficult time cleaning their radiators out. Well, they gave you enough room to get it cleaned out as well. I feel like the ground clearance on this is a lot taller. You're getting a lot more height out of this unit with the 500 than what you originally got before. I think it's more stout. A lot of things too that I've noticed, I'm a part of a lot of groups that talk about the C Forces and the Z Forces and a lot of that. Well, a lot of the guys were always talking about how they didn't care for the brake being located on the right-hand side of the vehicle because a lot of ATV manufacturers locate their brake on the left for your front brakes. Well, apparently CFMOTO has been listening to your complaints, and they have relocated the front brake to the left side instead of the right side. So for us, it was a little bit of a change, constantly trying to reach for that right hand. Now it's like your standard four-wheelers that you see in the main streets, like the Hondas, the Cowies, the Yamis, all those stuff. Your brake is located on that left-hand side. So the next thing we're going to show you some of the instrument panel and the seating and some of those things. So come on over and we'll give you a tour of that as well. So some of the controls have changed. Like I also said, no right-hand brake anymore, all on the left like it's supposed to be. If you guys want to come around, let me show you some of the different stuff that has changed. So I feel like on the handlebars as well, they've changed slightly. I feel like on some of the other ATVs that we've had in the past, the bars weren't as tall. They're up a little bit higher, so they're a little bit more comfortable. Another thing too, the seat, it feels like it has like a memory foam to it. It's really nice, really comfortable. I was very, very impressed with how they did that. You have your standard USB and your 12-volt outlet there. They changed the look of this a little bit with your park, your reverse, your neutral, your high, and the shifter is also a little bit different. It's actually really nice. They put their own little touch into it. Your standard key location, but it is shaped a little bit different over here. Your four-wheel drive controls are all the same. One thing I did notice that I feel like they took more pride into the design and how it looked was your winch controller. Before it was just this plastic kind of or metal cheesy tab that mounted in this general area. They actually added this L piece right here, and it actually gives it some nice tasteful look to it. It's not just something that just got thrown on there. It was well built. The reservoir looks a little different. The grips have been changed. I think some people will like these, some people might not like them as much. They did add some bar ends, which are nice, so those grips don't slide off on you while you're riding. My favorite thing that I like about this, if you guys want to come in on that gauge cluster, the whole gauge cluster has completely changed. The parking, the reverse, the neutral, the high and the low are a little bit easier to read now. Everything is a lot more digital. One thing also, this might be a little loud. I'm sorry if it's a little hard to hear me, but I'll make sure I try to speak up. One thing that you immediately see differently is your RPM range is so much more visible now. It is so much easier to read. It's big, it's bold. Your selections on here, you have your brightness. They made it very easy to change, as you can see. And then you got here, you got your voltage, your LED, your miles, your trip meter, and there you go. You've got all that right there. And the gauge cluster is really amazing. And they also made, let me turn this off. They also made this cover a little bit different. I feel like it covers a lot more. All around, it's just more improvements after one another. And another thing I noticed too is this panel right here, where before you would have them in different sections, this is actually one piece. This is one solid piece. It's a little bit more difficult to work on, but it works really well. It looks really sleek. I feel like everything's not just bunched up together. Your gauge cluster is a little bit further out. You have a lot along more distance here. So it's nice little accents that they did. So like I said, not everything turned out good. One thing that we did find out is that your lock, which is located right here next to your shifter, does not exist anymore. I have talked to CFMOTO, and they have said they're not sure if that is going to be a standard piece or something that you will have to buy as an accessory to lock the shifter. So that might be gone. Some people like it, some people don't use it. It really just depends on the type of person you are. Not awful, but you still have all that. The power in this thing is also improved a lot as well. Driving it, I've noticed that this is actually a lot more powerful than your standard 500. There are a couple different things in the back. I will show you that, and let's check that out. All right, guys, so just like the front, you have this plastic cover over the rack, not that metal standard rack. They kind of made it a little tasteful for your quick clips as well. As you can see, obviously in the video, they have changed the back of this thing a little bit, which is very impressive. They added this LED light strip that goes all the way across. One thing I was really impressed with when I was looking at this unit is this storage box. Usually when we get these storage boxes, they're not, you can't usually put a whole lot in there. There's only a little bit of space. They don't make them very deep. Let me show you how much space you have in this thing. So everybody looks at it. It's a standard size box, as you can see. Look at this. Look how much of my arm that I can shove in there. And the way they made this is actually really cool. They took a lot of dead space that's up underneath this unit and used it. So your standard box, usually you'd have a kind of like a wall or something blocking you here. This actually goes back and then off to the left. So any bigger items that you needed to put in there, you have a lot more space towards the back. And then the front, you could put some of your tool kits, your first aid kit, and stuff like that. So one more thing that we need to talk about that is kind of a little bit of a disappointment is if you look, there's no receiver hitch on this thing. It didn't come with one. It really sucks. It's one of my favorite accessories, especially on something that's four-wheel drive. A lot of people like that. You can buy aftermarket ones. They're not very expensive. I think you can buy them for 20, 30 bucks. Amazon, we can find them for you. CFMOTO hasn't said 100% that they're getting rid of it, but at the moment we're unsure if we're going to be getting them. I know a lot of people are saying, don't worry, they're coming in. That's not 100% true. I think we're having an issue with shortages on things like that. So for them to get these units to us so we can at least have something to sell you, I think some of those things are getting left behind. But like I said, it's something easy to fix, $20, $30. You could probably get one. If not, we can see if CFMOTO will add some in the future or sell us some in the future. I can't get over these lights. They're just so amazing. They look so good. I think they're so tasteful. They did a great job. I'm very, very impressed. The pictures definitely don't do it any justice. You really, really need to come out and check one of these things out. All right, guys. So let me tell you the one last thing. So we have been getting price increases with everything else like you've seen on the market. A 500 before was $57.99. Now they're $59.99, and you can obviously see why with the nicer display, the extra power, the higher lift, the little accents that they made with the front rack and the rear rack. So come down to Adrenaline Rush Motorsport. Come see us. We're at 1901 West 15th Street, Panama City, Florida, 32401, or give me a call at 850-874-2185. Please give me a like, a subscribe, and ring that bell. And you guys have a great weekend. Have a great day.